Hello, everybody. Welcome into Bedford County Sports Live. I'm Bill Anderson. Alongside me, David Thomas, Coach Kenny Parker, and the infamous Coach Judd Dryden.
Infamous now.
Yes.
Is that right?
Glad to have you, Coach.
Coach, ever since you did that great job on 104.5, we're just glad to be around you. I'm glad you still talk to us.
Man,
Can we have your autograph?
Please.
no.
Okay.
Not unless you want to lose money. So
Okay, all right.
So yeah.
We got some good sponsors.
We've got some great sponsors, don't we?
Always.
Corner Cleaners
First Bank
and Kincaid,
Service Company.
where services
Service.
are middle name.
Yes, sir. Mark will take care of you.
What's the best thing about Kincaid's?
They will dispose of or they'll take care of what you get rid of.
You don't get that at the
If
chain store.
you go buy you a new refrigerator,
Yep.
they'll take the old one away.
Something to be said for that.
Mm-hmm.
Coach, I don't like picking up refrigerators.
Neither do I.
I want somebody else to haul it off and give me some service.
Bill, we got some scores.
We got
What we
scores.
got basketball wise? It's
Well,
going on
basketball
here.
wise,
Yeah.
you know, pretty much we've
Well, here's the thing with basketball. We're in district tournament. Cascade and Community are through with district, and Shovel starts today.
Yeah.
Shovel girls play at 2:00 today.
sure do. Everything with that tournament. They had no games on Friday night. Everything is on Saturday at the
Mm-hmm.
girls and boys.
Girls and boys. Semifinals. Then they go back Monday and Tuesday to play the championship and consolation games. Where Cascade and Community, they've wrapped theirs up.
Okay, before we talk any more about the individual games, could you give us an update on Kyler, how
Yes.
he's doing?
All right. So last update I received was yesterday afternoon. And at that point he had been he'd been awake and able to communicate, had watched the sports center, had eaten some solid food. And the last I understand, they're still trying to, just make sure he's going to be fine and recover well before he send him home.
Right.
And figure out what happened. So
I had heard, and is this sort of like the DeMar guy at Buffalo? Are they sort of related? Because they were playing and it just boom, cardiac arrest.
Well, I mean, and at this point right now, I've not been told specifically it was cardiac arrest. I mean,
Okay.
I've not been given any indication whatsoever of what the cause was. I know it came on sudden, based on what the boys had told me and the coaches had told me. But it was one of those moments where, I mean, we were Kyler individually, the basketball team, and us as a school family, were incredibly blessed with the people that were on site in that moment. It's a big deal.
And there was some folks in that crowd in Lincoln County who
The
helped out
people at
greatly.
Lincoln County are to be commended.
Absolutely.
I read something where there was a guy, I think he was a firefighter or something.
Life flight nurse for
He went in
Yep. took
and
over.
did CPR, and he said, "This is the only time I've ever done mouth-to-mouth CPR without a protective device." So he went in and did what we would all call the old traditional
Mhm.
mouth-to-mouth. That's just thank you guys from Lincoln County.
Absolutely.
You and then they had a prayer vigil for him. Their student body.
There were a lot of students there for that. We were there for that. I'm gonna tell you, when the response of those people in Lincoln County, when it mattered, when halves of seconds, fractions of seconds matter, they were on the ball, and we were truly blessed with everything they did, and it was 100% a God thing, the way that thing
I was going to say,
and
God was all over that.
And so, as right now, he is improving. I cannot tell you specifically on a scale where he's at, but the last update I received yesterday afternoon was that he was improving steadily, and that he should. I'm not even going to say a full recovery, but he is recovering.
Good.
Well, it's good to hear about that, and all the things that led up to this. There's no question we need to continue to pray for that young man and his family, and we definitely will. But it was awesome to see Lincoln County step up like they did. They even shared on Facebook, and a lot of folks in Bedford County picked it up all over Middle Tennessee. Really.
I don't know the exact number, but they raised a lot of money for the
Good.
family that day or that night, and or the other night when we finished the game. I'm gonna tell you, it was weird picking up a game 2 days later at halftime.
At
I mean,
halftime,
the just the feel of
Right.
it was just off. It was, I was just sitting there, and
Mm-hmm.
Ken Gillen and I were just like, this is odd. That just because all of a sudden you got a guy fouling out in what you feels like the middle of the second quarter, and it's like, oh yeah, wait.
And
Just
your
it-
team leader.
Yeah, they.
Your team leader.
I think I'm without verifying it, I'm pretty sure Kyler was our leading scorer even at the end of the game.
Mm.
So that's how big of an impact he was having on that game in the first half. That he ended up being our leading scorer.
Well, how did that game finish?
It was
We lost.
28-27, finished up 64-54. And I mean, that was just tough for them boys to have to
It
play,
was.
play
And
that
I
game.
want to go back to Coach Young,
Mhm.
who's, way I understand, is having a tough time. But there's nothing Coach Young could have done. He could have not foreseen that.
Of course not.
He thinks he might have been able to do
Yeah.
something different. Coach
Well-
Young, I just want you to know, is all in God's hands. You can't foresee the future. And
Yeah, I agree 100%. And he, it's just I'm going to tell you, a guy that the last two, Coach Young and even going back to Coach Howard, are two men that absolutely love those kids.
Yep.
I mean, they say what you want about anybody and any coach. I've never met a coach that loves his kids more than Coach Young. And he just cares about them. And it doesn't matter if they're the best kid on the floor or they're the kid that never comes off the bench and barely earned the jersey. He cares about them all equally as much, and he's doing a fantastic job. And the one thing about it is they came out on Thursday night and they played hard. I mean, there was no let up. They were pushing Lincoln County just as hard as they were on Tuesday night, and it showed. So they were mentally prepared to finish that game, even though there was a high emotional state in it. But they played hard. They played well. They knocked down some shots that were just amazing. The seniors that were on the floor led them well, and so it's hats off to them for what they were able to do to to bring the young men back and be able to focus on a basketball game and play hard.
Yeah.
And I will say this. I've been fortunate in this to meet two really good friends of mine that I've become friends with. One of them is you, Shane Young, and the other one is Coach Dryden.
Yeah.
And you won't find either one of these coaches, that care, including Coach Dryden, that care about their kids more. And I'll put you right there with that
Thank you.
on that list.
There's no doubt about
And
that.
basketball is going to get better, guys. Shelbyville's going to be better next year.
I agree.
It takes a minute, as Coach
does.
Parker's alluded to on the show many times. When you're down, you just don't turn it around overnight. It takes time.
you got to be there a time or two.
Sure
Got to
do.
be there a time or two.
Then that 3-point loss that you got is a 3-point or 6-point win. You got to learn how to win,
Yes.
especially. And we played a lot of close ball games,
Mhm.
but we were in ball games.
Yep.
We weren't getting blown out by 30. We weren't getting
Right.
blown out by 40. We were in games.
Yeah.
And I think you'll see it step up next year for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Shovel Girls, they play at 2. It's
Coffee
Coffee
County.
County.
Mhm.
Be a tough road to hold in that one. And there's just a lot of basketball over there. Moved to Cascade Community. You want to go back last night? I think Cascade boys upset the community. I think it was an upset, 69-61.
Close ball game with about 3 minutes left. Cascade had a good lead, double-digit lead most of the game. Community clawed back. Fourth quarter, tied it up. But then Cascade were able to hit some foul shots. Community had to foul toward the end. They knocked down foul shots, wound up 8-point game.
Now they were both advanced to the region, I believe, and Community being the 4, and now Cascade would be the 3.
Correct.
So they'll advance to the region, but both girls' teams are out. I believe that's
No,
right. Are
no,
they, are
no,
they still in?
No,
Okay.
Cascade girls wound up second.
Okay.
They upset the community girls.
So they got second.
They're second.
Okay.
They will host a game Friday night. Their region hosts first round, so Cascade girls will host, and community girls.
What region do
will
they
go
match up with? Do you remember?
Loretta and
Okay.
Summertown.
Okay.
I think this Loretta, Summertown, Mount Pleasant, and I think they said Lewis County.
Okay.
So where are those games played? Where does that tournament take place?
Well, the higher seed team hosts
At home, at their home.
and then
Okay.
the rest of the tournament goes to Loretta.
When did they change that? Because you remember back in the day,
Yeah, you go to
Yeah.
one
the
place.
district was at Coffee
But
County, the
you-
region was at Shelbyville,
yeah.
and the whole tournament was played
I
at the
think
school.
I think it's to give the top seed an advantage, but attendance. I think it's got a lot to do with attendance.
Got to do with money, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, they get that gate.
All about the money.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Well, good luck to all these teams.
Big day in the county today with a local high school wrestling.
Yeah, let's talk about. Give us an update on that.
A lot of wrestling going on as we speak. Chevrolet, Cascade, and Community all competed in the regions last week. Chevrolet had 2 young men. Logan McBee won his 215-pound weight class, and freshman Nate Zimmerman wound up third at 165. So they both move on to Warren County today. They start at 10 o'clock. So I'm not sure how many move on, but this is a chance. This is sectional, so the next step is state. Okay. Cascade and Community both competed last week at Eagleville. Community had 6 young men to move on. James Bolin at 165, Owen Williamson at the 132, Cody Duff at 157, Jackson Harris at 150, Tristan Perry at 120, and Alan Rayo at 113. Judd, I was 113 in the 2nd grade.
Yeah,
that's the good thing about wrestling
too,
is these guys that they're not going to probably be competitive on the football or the basketball field, but they can.
There's an itch. There's an itch. That's for sure.
Shout out to a young lady for Chevrolet, Nevaeh Buchanan, probably the first female wrestler we've had in the county to qualify for the state. So she qualified for the state yesterday. So, and then Cascade, they wound up third in the region. They've got 9 guys moving on. Dylan Warren won the 215-pound class. Briston Moore was second at 126. Chase Sutter was second at 157. Hayden Dow was second at 175. And Isaac Choppa was second at 190.
Who beat him? I figured he'd win it.
I don't know, but see,
They'd be pretty good to beat him.
They wrestling that district, that region, Tullahoma, Franklin County, Lawrenceburg, Marshall County. So the bigger schools. Vaden Moore was third at 138. Trenton Gill was third at 144. Fender Holden was fourth at 132, and Max Derfisky was fourth at 165. So both Community and Cascade are wrestling as we speak at Forest. That started at 9 o'clock today. So shout out to
while we got Coach Dryden on, and this was something we've asked before, but Logan McBee, obviously, I think can play college football.
Yes.
I think he can wrestle in college. Yeah. Do you have any updates?
He's being recruited for both.
It would be great if he could do both. Do they let you do both anymore, or do they frown on?
No, they will. The smaller schools will. You won't see your larger. I mean, if you have a football program investing money in you at the FCS, FBS level, you won't see a 2-sport athlete. It'll be rare. Maybe football, baseball, maybe football, track, but it won't be more so football, track. But you won't see a whole lot of that anymore. Now, the lower levels, Logan has a visit coming up to Lindsey Wilson, who I'm not sure if they are looking at him for both, but they have a wrestling program up there as well. They're in Kentucky. And then there's a school up in Wisconsin that's been in constant contact with him for wrestling only, but they also have football. So it's just.
Does Carson Newman still do stuff like this or
not? To be honest, I don't know if Carson Newman.
I don't think they wrestle anymore.
I don't think they wrestle anymore, do they?
So
they did at one point.
They did at one point.
One of the things that when it comes to the football recruiting here lately, and it's something that both Nathan and Mike experiences, there's a lot of staff turnover this year in our area. Within a 3-hour drive, I mean, you had Carson Newman turnover, you had Tusculum turnover. Middle Tennessee turned over. Vandy didn't turn over, but hired in, new stuff. I mean, so there was a lot of turnover within the radius that we, that within the footprint, I guess is the best way to put it, that we sit in. And so that kind of got on guys late. And you can tell because the moment the staff showed up, all of a sudden the phone's ringing, and where that school hadn't been in contact with us at all for the entire. So I guess they all knew, you see the writing on the wall.
Coach, I bet you've heard from MTSU more in the last 3 months than you had the last 10 years.
I've never, I'm trying to remember the last time we had a kid or that I had a kid. I guess Summit in 2012 was the last time. Whenever
Coach Mason's working these local schools right now.
Well, that's what's impressive about him. And shout out to him. He described when he came in and talked to Micah. But I think it was the Friday before signing day. When he came in and talked to Micah, he described to me his footprint and that they were trying to set. And of course, they'll be outside their footprint some because they all have connections other places. But he was talking about his footprint being basically a diamond that stretches all the way to East Tennessee, out to Memphis, north up to Louisville, and down to Atlanta. I mean, so you're talking 3 to 4 hours in every direction on the compass. And so that's what they're trying to do, because he says that's where our kids come from.
And what we talked about, what was impressive, is the staff he's put together.
Yes.
Yeah. That staff, you sit there and go through it.
He's got a good name.
It's impressive.
He's got a good name.
He does.
And all the way. It's not just the coordinators. It's impressive from the D-line coach to the O-line coach. You got experience, big time, at big places. The NFL, there's a lot of NFL experience on that staff too.
So I think they're gonna see improvement just from and Coach Stocksville was not a bad football coach.
Oh, absolutely not at all.
Great job.
But there comes a time when things get a little stagnant, and there's, and if Middle will do the things that they need to do to be successful, which is increase the NIL budget, and really kind of work hit the portal, which what I loved about Coach Mason was he wants local guys. Yeah. So that means he's going to be recruiting high schools, and they want to develop guys, and they want to do things that way. So, which is why you see them going after the guys that they are. Just locally within Bedford County, they were on top of at least 3 guys, including Micah. So the 2 out of Cascade.
The kicker from Tullahoma is going to MTSU.
So they are putting the effort into recruiting locally, in their footprint. So that's big for us. I mean, and it makes sense too. It was told to me, I believe it was Mike Matusik that said something. Well, he's going to put butts in the seats now too, because if you get local guys, you're going to have local people come to watch their guys.
And here's the thing about us, Coach. If they're going to recruit our local students, our local athletes, it's our responsibility to go sit and watch them.
Absolutely.
I mean, we as fans got to do that. Yeah. We've always said you need to support our local program, our local kids. Now, if they're doing that, it's our job to go and support our students also.
Same thing with Coach Enslow. They're looking for the job he's done. And granted, I know they win, but the attendance for the girls is better than the boys basketball over there. And it's a lot because he's getting that girl from Mount Juliet or Murfreesboro. Mm-hmm. There's local kids. Yeah. And then next thing you know, you got 50 people from a community, 100 people going to watch somebody.
I mean, that's what's going to be nice for us for football. It's and I'm lucky with Nathan where he's going, because it's 30 minutes. I drive I-64 to get to St. Louis, go visit my sisters 2-3 times a year. So if it can work out on a bye week or something, I can hop up and hopefully they'll have a home game. So that one's going to be a little tough. But Mike at Tusculum, if Micah Spence and Logan end up at Lindsey Wilson, I mean, we're talking a 3-hour drive. That's nothing to go up, watch them play. So I feel blessed with it, that I can go. I'll be able to go watch them at least once a year now.
Absolutely.
And that's not even counting when they may be circling down our way. So you're right. It's huge that being local brings local people. Yeah. And so it's a business decision at some point too.
Not to change the subject, but to change the subject. Sports in Bedford County is cranking up right now. We've got baseball started officially. We've got soccer started officially. We've got softball started officially. Today, I was supposed to leave after this show to go work a softball play day. Thank you, Lord. Got snow and rain and cold weather. But sports is about to And I can tell you that from the bus garage, man, you want
Oh, I
to
can
talk
imagine.
about how many road trips and
Speaking
But,
of that, just real quick, Shelbyville opens its baseball season March the 11th versus Murfreesboro Central Magnet.
Mark, they're waiting.
Well, Cascade doesn't start according to Coach Tito March 12th to the first official game.
That's the
at
first
Eagle.
game now.
but this that may have been, they may have changed that because just a month or so back, TSSAA moved the start date from the 11th
Right.
to the 4th.
So they may be earlier.
So
They
there
bumped
may
it a
be some
week.
earlier
That's when
games.
you'll see your play days and things like that come in a week earlier. But like baseball is at Blackman Monday, I believe.
Monday,
for scrimmage.
baseball.
Scrimmage.
Shovel goes to
And,
Blackman Monday.
I believe so. And then I know Coach Fritz has been, he's got something coming up next week. So the scrimmages are rolling like even before March hits, and which has not been the case in the past.
Got a big high school softball play day this coming Saturday.
Yeah. So
and next Saturday.
Yeah. So yeah, they're rolling what was it? I'm trying to remember now. I know they moved it back by, was it 2 weeks?
What
The
moved the
start
start
date or
date
the
up
1
2
week?
weeks?
Yeah.
Moved the start date up 2 weeks.
So I mean, it was,
Well, we got a lot going on, definitely, Kenny, and we need
sure.
to get out and support all the kids.
Exactly.
All these high school athletes that are active throughout the spring. I mean, I know when football's over with, I kind of am let down. The basketball's cranking, but still, football's my sport, Coach.
Well, when they moved that date back 2 weeks, I guess they
that.
were banking on that groundhog not seeing it. That groundhog was wrong. It's cold up there today, guys. It's still cold.
Yeah.
You're gonna have your anomaly every once in a while now.
That's right. We
Like
probably
a
get
snow
we'll
up.
probably have a snow in March.
You know why it snowed? Because the buttercups came up. You know,
It always happens.
it always, when the buttercups come up, they're going to get snow on them.
Yeah, for sure. Bill, I know you got some more stuff to talk about. You got
Well, let's talk about our sponsors real quick.
Okay, we got First Bank
Right here in Shelbyville.
right here in Shelbyville.
They've got a
And
great
I'll
staff.
say,
They'd love to help you. And longest sponsor of Shelbyville
yeah,
now,
right.
if anybody,
exactly.
is First Bank right here.
And then we got Corner Cleaners.
Corner
Next
Cleaners.
Wednesday out at Corner Cleaners.
Hey, I'm
And tough
telling you right
season's
now,
coming up. So
That's a good place.
prom season.
Prom season, candles,
They got everything
and can clean and turn it over
quick.
within a day.
Yeah, quick.
Drop box, delivery,
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then we have Kincaid.
service.
Company.
All
Service
right,
is their middle name. I
right here,
guarantee you.
yeah. Right here on
We got a little
on
bit of
Madison
everything.
Street, right down the road here.
And
Been
local.
there for years.
Absolutely.
Local. I mean, when we talk about Susie Cartwright.
Yep.
Graduated from Central High School. Mark Kincaid. Graduated from Central High School. Grew up local.
Brent Kennedy, president of First Bank, graduated with him 1980, Central High
So,
School. Yeah.
We're talking
And his
about
wife
local.
is who?
Kate
Yeah.
McGrew.
Bud McGree's daughter.
Yeah, absolutely. So all local ties. to
All
these
local
businesses.
ties.
And they're the ones that you see on all of these high school sports fences.
Mhm.
You don't
They're
see
the
the big
ones.
corporate stores. You don't see Lowe's.
Nope.
You don't see Taco
Yeah.
Bell, and you don't see. You
Yeah.
see these local businesses out here
Mhm.
supporting these boys.
So I know these schools appreciate those sponsors. We appreciate them just allowing us to sit down and just talk about it.
Absolutely.
Now, you got something else, Bill. MTSU
But
women.
MTSU women won 10 in a row. They've got UTEP today. They're 20-4 now. Wednesday they're at home against Jacksonville State. They're rolling right now.
Are they ranked top 25?
Not yet. Not yet. And I think what hurts them a little bit, and this is what hurts them in the seeding too, is they've lost in the NCAA tournament. The first game so many years, I think they should have been a 5 or 6 seed. They wind up being 11, 12, or 13. And it's part because of the conference they play in and that type of thing. But they really got it rolling right now. And we'll just hit on some college basketball real quick. Tennessee plays Vandy today.
They
5
host
o'clock.
them at home. Now, let me ask y'all about Tennessee. You see two different teams a lot of times, and this has been for the last 4 years. You see them, you think, man, they're going Final Four, they're going to take it all away, and then something happens. Do you guys think that the talent level is not where it needs to be, or do you think it's just in the mind?
I
or
think
it's a mental-
parity is so much, and you got 5 players out there, and if 2 of them are not having a good game, or somebody's on.
The difference with this team that might make it is the fact they've got one guy that can carry him if he has to, and they hadn't had that in a long time. That's the Connect kid.
Yeah.
Now he can't carry you all the way, but Tennessee's going to play Missouri, and then they get Texas A&M at home on a revenge game.
And the thing about SEC basketball, it's not a 1 or 2 pony show like it
No.
used to be.
No,
It used to be a 1 or 2 pony show.
You had Kentucky and somebody else, whoever that somebody else was.
And I tell you right now, SEC compared with the ACC, which used to be the deal, I'm taking SEC.
Yeah, I am now.
So now,
how's the stand? How are they looking?
Alabama's 9-3. South Carolina's 9-3. Auburn's 9-3. Tennessee's 8-3. They play one less game. That'll catch up to itself. Florida's 7-4. Kentucky 7-4. Texas A&M 6-5. Ole Miss 5-6. Mississippi State 5-6. But all those teams have a shot to make the tournament.
Oh yeah.
But when you look at your top four teams that you just know, what's the difference in their records?
Hardly any.
Half a game.
Half a game from Tennessee to them.
Yeah. So you're going to have that. You're going to have some games where you look good and some where you don't. And I'm going to tell you another thing. You'll hear them. Are you at home? Or are you on the way?
Makes a big
difference in a gym, boy, I tell you. On a football field, but in a gym.
But probably the best job in the Southeastern Conference this year has been done with South Carolina. Everybody had them at the bottom. Here they are at the top.
21-4.
That's
unreal.
Nobody saw that coming.
No.
I've never played basketball, but when I was in college, I shot basketball at Cascade. But when I went to shoot basketball at MTSU and Murphy Center and how big that place was, the depth perception, you get these guys that go to these different gyms with student bodies behind them and seeing different and the lighting. That's got to be tough.
Yeah, it plays with the mind for sure.
Yep.
But guys, I don't know what to expect with this tournament, but we're going to have fun when we get March Madness going. We're going to do our picks.
And the SEC tournament, I believe, is up at Bridgestone Arena again this year in Nashville, isn't it?
I think so.
Now, let's talk about Super Bowl. Okay, it seems like it happened a year ago already, but this last week, we sit down and made predictions, and I predicted San Francisco was going to win. So I got egg on my face. You got egg on your face.
Yeah, but I'm going to tell you right now.
Do not bet against Patrick Mahomes
he's
or Andy
tough.
Reid.
But was that not a good Super Bowl?
It's a good Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's a good Super Bowl. First half was defense. I mean, but
and
San Francisco fires their defensive coordinator right after that.
But I'm going to tell you right now,
that wasn't his fault.
Andy Reid is a coach.
Who had athletically, who was better? San Francisco was better overall.
Yeah.
But now Kansas City had the best player.
All right,
I'm Mahomes.
I want to put Coach. I want to put.
I'm going to say Coach Reid was the difference.
You probably know what I'm fixing to ask you. You got a player that you're standing on the sideline, passionate, whatever it is, gets caught on camera in your face and bumping you. What do you just say to him?
I think Andy did a good job of not saying anything.
I do too.
I think he did too. So you got to look at different levels. High school kid does that. He's probably going to the locker room.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, that's just because of the setting.
No matter whether he's your stud man or not.
I mean, there's a thing. It's college level. Maybe not. I think it would depend on the things that have been going on in the past and the relationship and things like that.
Get it to Nick Saban, you're going to the house.
More than likely.
Depends on who the coach is.
Yeah, more than likely. Now, at that level, with one of your, not only your, he's been named their emotional leader. He's the fire in that thing. Talking about Kelsey, I don't know. I think Andy Reid did the best possible thing he could, which was pretty much ignore him. And then knowing that somebody's going to get him away.
Here's the thing.
Go from there.
When did that happen? First half.
Yeah. Yes.
You know who gave the fiery halftime speech in the locker room that got the guys going the second half?
Travis Kelce.
Can you tell the difference between the way Kansas City played the first half and the second half? That same guy that said, Coach, hey, that might have been what he's saying. Hey, I got you at halftime. I got you at halftime.
Let me ask y'all this
I don't
question.
think it was.
No.
When it hit overtime and he elected to take the football, I said right then, Kansas City's going to win a football game.
Listen, everybody's going to that.
I'm going to go to
Everybody's going to that. But here's the deal. I agree. They got a chance to say, but you're not. Hindsight's 2020. We're always.
Kenny, the rule has changed.
I know the rule.
Here's the reason you don't want the ball first.
Here's the rules. The rule has changed. I agree. But when it goes into the third possession, and that's that big word, if you get it to the third possession and you score, you win.
Yes. And that's what Shanahan
And
said.
that's what Shanahan said. The reason we took the ball is we felt because we had our defense had just come off, had just been on the field for a while.
Yep.
So they were tired.
Yep.
That's probably the main reason.
And they were tired. So he wanted to give them some, and we make them kick a field goal. Yep. And we had the opportunity. We didn't make some plays, and we had the opportunity to put them in and make them kick. Now it goes to the third possession. We score, we win.
I want the ball second because I want to know what I need.
Andy Reid has already said, and he said, or it's after the fact, that we score, we're going for 2. We're not going to go for 1.
Yep. That's why you want the ball second.
You'll hear a lot of people say, well, if they hadn't missed that extra point, hadn't got it blocked, then that's been no, because when Kansas City had the ball toward the end of the game, they wouldn't have played for the field goal. They'd have went for the touchdown. Mm-hmm. So, listen, it is a great football game.
Sure was.
Don't second guess the coaches when you're an armchair quarterback.
It's fun.
Oh, I know.
Well, hey, wait a second.
Wait a second. Entertainment. And all of us are experts.
Yeah.
And we always lose.
Don't fire your defensive coordinator the next game. Act like he lost the game for you. That's what he did. And I don't know that Coach Wilkes deserves to be fired over that. I'm sorry.
There may have been some other stuff.
Maybe.
Let's end on this note. Titans. Okay. Great game. We're happy that we got to watch that Super Bowl. All right, but now moving to the Titans. Monday is a big day.
Monday is a big day.
So tell me, Bill,
what's Monday?
Have you hearing anything?
Monday is
they got to
well, they either have to extend Tannehill, they're not going to do it.
Right.
No.
They can extend Derrick Henry because there's cap implications if you don't.
Dead money.
Al Shahir, who I do think they work on an extension by Monday, the linebacker they brought from San Francisco, and then you got Murphy Bunting. You don't know how the staff feels about him.
Now you're saying they can. I think they
offer
want
extension.
I think they want to keep Henry. Does Henry want to stay?
That's the question,
right? But
I think Henry has deserved the right if he wants to pursue a Super Bowl.
I don't
the
disagree.
Man's earned it.
But is it not true though that if they make him an offer to extend him, and he goes shopping and turns it down, they don't have that money against the cap?
Correct.
So that you
but
gotta
if you don't offer it,
then you're gonna lose.
Then you're going to lose the money.
So go ahead and try to get him.
Because you're not going to do Tannehill, you're going to lose the $9 million. We're not extending him. That's over.
Yeah.
Look for him to go to Pittsburgh, probably.
I think Tannehill will wind up in Pittsburgh,
where Arthur Smith is.
I think Al Shahir, you got to sign him. He was like, he's a stud.
I think of the 4, he's going to be the only one.
Yeah.
But it's amazing how the NFL, they're constantly going.
I know it, nonstop.
February 29th scouting combine to the 3rd. Then you get free agency. Then you hit the schedule release.
For me, the combines is as good as the Super Bowl. I
love the combine.
Oh yeah.
So
and I love the draft.
I wish there was a way to get in there to watch it live.
And Nashville put in with a new stadium. They have put in with the NFL and submitted that there's a chance that actually the combine may come here.
Boy,
well, that'd be great.
I'll be begging.
I'd love to go. Wouldn't you love to just go watch it once?
Yeah, I would.
Next year.
Okay. David Parker. Where will Henry go if he doesn't stay with the Titans? And by the way, Miss Helen Raby's been watching. Thank you, Miss Helen. Good to see you again, always. But where does Henry go? And you just mentioned where?
Henry?
Yeah.
I think he's a Cowboy.
Okay.
Or a Raven.
I'm thinking Ravens.
And I want it to be a Cowboy. I don't want to see him in purple and black.
Coach, what do you think?
Ravens fit his style better. He'd have to be the goal line, red zone goal line running back if he went to the Cowboys.
Role player there.
Yeah, he's so I think it really just depends on what kind of role he wants. My hope is that he wants to stay home and finish out and potentially retire as a Titan and not have to do what so many have.
Eddie George wearing that star on his helmet.
But the difference here is Henry's not worn out.
No,
he's not. He's got a year or two left.
The thing when they leave to go to somewhere else like that, most of the time, it don't pan out.
No, their heart's not in it.
Like Mark Ingram was a great example that he left. Did he go to the Ravens?
Went to several different places.
Let the Saints go to the Ravens. Was that right?
Yeah.
And then ends up back with the Saints.
Yeah.
So I don't want to see him. He's too good of a guy. He's too good, from what I understand. He's too good of a football player.
He's an ambassador.
Yeah.
But with this new coaching staff, I think there's a better chance that maybe he does come back to the Titans.
And with the new offensive line coach,
that's going to make a big difference. I'd be selling him on that.
And I'll tell you another big hire they made this week was Tracy Rocker.
Yeah,
that's a nice addition to your coaching staff.
Yeah.
Tracy Rocker's a good football coach. In fact, this list of names that's here is impressive. Some of them are young, some of them are all. It's a nice mix of experience, and I'm really impressed with what they've been able to put together here.
Yeah. Well, guys, we need to wind things
One
up.
last thing, did y'all happen to hear this one? I just want just real quick. I loved hearing the defensive coordinator Derek Wilson, Denard Wilson talk.
I hadn't heard him talk.
He was talking about an attacking defense, and the head
Is
coach
that
said, before.
Is that with the
He
Titans?
said, my defensive coordinator has complete autonomy. He just he's going to run the offense, and he's going to let Wilson run the defense.
So you're talking about the Titans' new defense.
Titans' new defensive coordinator. And he said, we expect to score on defense. That's what he said. His interview was great. They expect to score on defense. So I think you're going to see something that's fun to watch.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun to watch. How good it's going to be, I don't know. It's going to be different. They're going to be multiple.
We might go 1-17, but we're going to have fun watching.
We're going to have fun watching. It's going to be a little different.
All right, guys, let's wind things down. Again, we want to thank our sponsors, First Bank and Corner Cleaners and Kincaid
Service Company.
All right, everybody chime in at once.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys, for watching today. And again, thanks to our sponsors. Thanks, Coach Dryden, for sitting down with us and sharing your time. And thank you for Micah and for Nathan for sitting down and telling a little bit about what's going on.
We are all so proud of you boys.
Yeah.
Very proud of you.
Guys, we'll be back again the same time next week.